UEFA has been urged to block any Qatar-based bid for Manchester United amid concerns over the integrity of European competitions. The human rights group Fair Square has written to UEFA President Alexander Ceferin to express concerns over Qatari investors owning both United and French club Paris Saint-Germain. The Gulf state, which hosted last year's World Cup, already owns PSG through Qatar Sports Investments (QSI), which is closely linked to the country's sovereign wealth fund, the Qatar Investment Authority (QIA). Sportsmail revealed last week that Qatari investors are confident of blowing away any competitors in the bidding war for the Old Trafford club, with a deadline for offers looming on Friday. United's present American owners, the Glazer family, are seeking more than £6 billion for the club, and there is the prospect of another enormous bill to redevelop Old Trafford. Manchester United are the subject of takeover interest from Qatari investors. Manager Erik ten Hag would get a massive transfer kitty if the deal went through. Qatar's monarch Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani is known to be a big Manchester United fan. United's American owners, the Glazer family, want at least £6 billion to sell the club. However, such financial demands would be no problem for Qatari investors. Under UEFA regulations, two clubs controlled by the same entity would not be allowed to play in the same competition. It means that if both Qatari-owned United and PSG were to qualify for the Champions League, one would have to drop out. The letter from human rights advocacy group Fair Square was addressed to Ceferin as well as UEFA General Secretary Theodore Theodoridis and Premier League Chief Executive Richard Masters. As reported by The Athletic, it read, "A basic study of Qatar's political and economic system amply demonstrates the impossibility of any Qatari consortium proving itself independent of state influence, and thus separate from the ownership of PSG." Freedom House's World Freedom Index classifies Qatar as not free, and its most recent assessment is highly critical of Qatar's record on the rule of law, corruption, and political participation. Qatar's hereditary emir holds all executive and legislative authority and ultimately controls the judiciary. The letter goes on to point out the close ties between the country's investment funds and the ruling family. The chairman of QSI, for instance, sits on the board of the QIA. Qatar has never sought to claim the two bodies are independent. It continues, UEFA's statutes are very clear on the critical importance of ensuring that no single party can exercise control or influence over more than one club, and this is all the more important when the owners are states. A group of private, high-wealth individuals based in the oil-rich state, buoyed by Qatar's hosting of the World Cup, have set their sights on a club they view as football's crown jewel. State ownership of European football clubs jeopardizes the integrity of the game, its proclaimed values and its sustainability. The fact QSI already owns PSG presents a stumbling block if a bid is made for United, because UEFA regulations state no individual or legal entity may have control or influence over more than one club participating in UEFA club competition. They define such control or influence as having charge of decision-making within a club, such as over hiring and firing of staff. However, there is precedent for clubs persuading UEFA they are controlled by separate entities, such as when RB Leipzig and Red Bull Salzburg both played in the Champions League despite their association with energy drink firm Red Bull. As Sportsmail reported, the bid for United would come from separate, individual Qatari investors and would be a full takeover from the Glazers, rather than just a partial stake. Manager Erik ten Hag would be given a substantial transfer kitty to rebuild United's team into a force capable of challenging for top honours. PSG were taken over by Qatar Sports Investment in 2011 and have been transformed into heavyweights of European football, winning League One in 8 of the last 10 seasons. PSG president and QSI chairman Nasser Al-Khelaifi has insisted the involvement from private Qatari investors in United will have no impact in QSI's commitment to the Parisians. There are concerns that Qatari leaders are beginning to feel disengaged with the PSG project. There are significant funds available, they said. These people are serious. They want to make sure that United are where they should be, and they are confident theirs will be the strongest bid. They want to strengthen the squad to put them back at the top, but they also want this to be for the good of the community. They also want to build on the success of the World Cup. They recognize that Manchester United is the biggest football club in the world, the crown jewels, and there is a steely-minded determination to buy it and get it to where it should be. A successful bid would see Manchester's two clubs on opposite sides of the Qatar-Abu Dhabi rivalry. It would also see Qatari-owned United go up against Saudi-owned Newcastle. The Gulf neighbors are fierce rivals. The Emir of Qatar, head of its absolute monarchy, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, is a committed United fan who is well aware of the club's history. In 2011, it was reported that the Al Thani family had an offer of more than £1 billion for United turned down by the Glazers. Britain's richest man and Man United fan Jim Ratcliffe is another in the running to buy them that year. They bought a 70% stake in PSG. Although the French giants are yet to win a Champions League title, Qatari money has transformed the club into the biggest in the country and made it a global force. The Qataris face a significant rival in Jim Ratcliffe, Britain's richest man. Others are likely to submit bids, too, but the Ineos owner and lifelong United supporter was the first to go public with his intention to buy the club. U.S. merchant bankers Rain, who are handling the process and also oversaw the sale of Chelsea, have already shared financial information with interested parties ahead of the move to the next stage. No timeframe has been set for completion, but the Qataris are keen for the process to reach a quick conclusion. It comes amid reported concerns at PSG that the Qataris will lose interest in them if they take over at United.